Killswitch Engage released their new album, Atonement, on August 16th. Killswitch Engage is an American metalcore band from Westfield, Massachusetts, formed in 1999. The band consists of vocalist Jesse Leach, guitarist Joel Strotzel, and Adam D., bassist Mike D'Antonio, and drummer Justin Foley. They've released 8 studio albums. The first song on the album is called Unleashed. It was also the first single. I think Jesse sounds pretty good on this song. I mean, he sounds good on the whole album. The one thing I want to mention, though, is the chorus of this song is a little weird because it kind of sounds like a pre-chorus. Like it's kind of building up to the chorus, but it's not a pre-chorus. It's actually just the chorus. So I think they could have made that sound a little bit bigger. But moving on, The Signal Fire, the next song on the album, features Howard Jones, who was the previous vocalist of the band. So Jesse was the original, then he left, and Howard came in for a few albums, and then he left, and then Jesse came back to the band. So I thought this song was going to be cool, because it was going to feature both eras of vocalists. Also, the song is called The Signal Fire, and Howard is in a band called Light the Torch, so I think there's like a connection there, because fire and torches, and maybe I'm looking too much into that. I don't know for sure, but whatever.
You're not looking hard enough, boy.
You're right. This song starts immediately. Like, there's no build-up or intro. It's just punches you in the face right off the start. This is one of the heavier songs on the album, which is nice. I do want to say that Howard kind of sounded rough, or at least in my opinion, he did. Maybe I'm crazy. I was expecting a little bit more from this song because, I mean, I got myself pretty excited for it. So in my head, I was like, oh, I could sound like this or this. I was thinking they were going to do like a back and forth type thing on vocals and then just have like this huge chorus, but that's not what happened. So I was a little bit let down, but it's kind of my own fault for getting too hyped up for it. So I can't put too much blame on them for that. But I wish Howard was featured a little bit more on this song. I think they could have used him more, but you know, it's still good. I still enjoyed it. Next song, it's called The Crownless King, and this features Chuck Billy of Testament on vocals. Is also another one of the heavier songs, which again is nice. At one point, he says, "A war you cannot win," which I thought was amusing because that's a song and album from All That Remains. And a few years ago, Phil from All That Remains filled in for Killswitch Engage, and then they called him Philswitch Engage. So it just reminded me of that. And the thing with the features, like, if you're going to feature another vocalist on a song, I feel like they should have at least 50% of the song. Give them half of the song or even more. Because to me, a feature should be like, this is what the band sounds like if this person was to sing for us. And when you barely utilize them, it's like, you might as well just not even do a feature at all. You have a few albums with Howard as vocalist, so like we know what he sounds like with the band already. This is probably the best song on the album, though, despite what I just said. The last song I'm going to talk about is I Am Broken Too, which was the second single released. Chorus is catchy, and just the overall theme, not just of this song, I think of the whole album, is that Jesse has gone through some mental health issues, was in a dark place, might have contemplated a certain something at one point. This is his album to kind of let those emotions out and deal with that kind of stuff. When I hear songs about overcoming things or finding hope or whatever, it just reminds me of hopecore, just bands that kind of like make their living off that stuff. The reason why Killswitch can get away with it, especially on this album, is because Jesse has actually been through that stuff. I feel like some of these bands talk about depression or, you know, that stuff without actually experiencing it. They just kind of want to take advantage of like that teenage girl fan base. And, you know, I'm not going to mention any other bands like Memphis Mayfire or anything. That'd just be ridiculous. Since Jesse's been through it, he's allowed to talk about it. And they do a good job of like not shoving it down people's throats. So I respect that. But yeah, it's good for Jesse to get this out of his system. I'm not going to talk about every song because I feel like this album is a little bit lacking. I feel like it's missing something. I don't know what that something is, but it's missing it. Like, it's still good. The album's good. All the songs are good. There's no duds on here. I just feel like it could have been more. There's 11 tracks on here. 3 of them are less than 3 minutes long. Overall, 6 of them are less than 3.5 minutes long. So they're pretty short songs, and I just feel like they could have added more length to them. Maybe experimented a little bit more. And maybe Jesse and Adam used some experimentation on the New Times of Grace album, which I heard might be an EP, which would be a bummer. So hopefully it's still an album. But yeah, when that comes out and we hear New Times of Grace music, if it sounds more experimental, then we know where all their ideas went. But I'm still looking forward to that as well, because the first Times of Grace album is really good. Oh, and the guitars and drums, like that all sounds good. I'm sure the bassist did great too, but I can't ever hear it. So
There's bass? Dude, it's rough out here.
I have a hard time hearing it. So with all that said, I will give this album a solid 7 out of 10. And I will put links below to all the stuff. Links to the songs or the album. I have an example I want to make, but I don't know if I want to make it because I think people are going to want to kill me if I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I feel like this album is like playing Fortnite without owning the Battle Pass. Like, you still have access to everything, but you just don't have the goodies. You know, you're missing out on a little bit. And that's kind of what I feel like this album is. Like, you got the stuff, but it's just missing that thing. I feel like it just needs more experimentation. I know people, you know, get a little weird when they hear the word experimentation, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You know, you can just add little things here and there while still retaining the sound that people know you for. I'm not saying they need to switch genres and become some folk band. They can still be who they are while experimenting a little bit. That's just what I would like to hear. And I don't mean that example, the Fortnite example, to be disrespectful. I respect the band, I respect the members. It's not supposed to be a negative thing. It's just the example that popped up in my mind, and I feel like it's kind of accurate. So it is what it is. And again, links in the description.